We must stop the likes. I call upon all YouTubers to do everything in their power to stop the like button. Thank you. Now watch this drive. Any history buffs catch that reference?
We must stop the terror. Now watch this drive.
George Bush playing golf, except instead of golf, it's disc golf, and instead of the president, it's a Kirby Squeak Squad speedrunner. This is my third and final installment in my series on making YouTube a better platform. I had to take a quick break to make my last video where I talked about us all being freaky little lizard guys, but that wasn't as weird as it sounds. Also, we might have to go full Bigfoot mode and just film everything out in the woods because there's a lot of people here, which it is a public park, so that's fine. But I am like the fourth biggest YouTuber that films out here, just so I guess that doesn't mean much to them. On November 10th, 2021, YouTube made the decision to remove the dislike button. Everybody in the community immediately thought that was a great idea, and just as the YouTube execs planned, that ushered in an age of peace and tranquility, the likes of which this platform has never seen. Not a single bad YouTube video was made for years. I know that because I never saw a video with any dislikes, and on top of that, every video that I've ever thought was really bad in the past, I actually changed my mind on those. I don't think they're bad anymore because I don't see large bad number under video. But in all honesty, everybody hated that, obviously. And most people's first response was, why are they doing this? How many different directions is my hair going right now? Whatever, we're rocking it. And it could have been for a lot of different reasons. It could have been because everybody hated the 2018 YouTube Rewind video so much, and YouTube themselves were a little embarrassed that it was the most disliked video on their platform. It could have been, it was that. I mean, it was, let's be honest. But enough about the past. Let's talk about how we can fix the problem. Everybody says that we should just bring back the dislike button, which it's fine. I'm good with that. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen for the same reason that Epic Games is gonna keep adding game modes to Fortnite and not bring back item trading to Rocket League, a feature that we've always had and they just took away for no reason. That's because YouTube executives, much like Epic executives, are very proud people. They're not just gonna roll over on a decision like that. So I've tried to think of ways that we can kind of play ball with these guys and get a solution that's a win-win. A solution for the dislike button issue, that is, not the item trading, because actually I did have something written down for Epic. Frick you, dude. The solution came to me one stormy night when I thought about what the dislike button represented. The most self-explanatory feature in existence, right? Long ago in a galaxy far away, that might have been the case, but now YouTube uses the dislikes on a video as another metric for how they can push it in the algorithm. As in, the more disliked it is, the more engagement it gets, so on and so on. Now, maybe I'm being naive and they've always done that, but it definitely seems like they've ramped it up in the last few years. I'm naming this phenomenon the Twitter bleed because some of the culture on that godforsaken app bled into YouTube. I know I just said the word culture, so I'm already like halfway there to being a small YouTuber that makes everything an hour-long video essay. But don't worry, we're not going off the deep end on those topics. We're gonna keep things light here. We might even have another lizard hunt at the end of this video, who knows? I do have a couple of things that I wanna say though about social media culture. I literally have like 2 sentences to say about this. I just said Twitter culture bled into YouTube. Really, it's the Twitter algorithm. The supply of grifters and dog shit takes and rage bait in social media is more inflated than Elon Musk's ego after he logs into one of his employees' Steam accounts. And I just refuse to believe that there are that many more brainless lobotomites online now than there were 5 years ago. Maybe I just need to believe that for myself. But I think really the algorithm incentivizing that behavior carries a lot of the blame here. So take that and put it into ChatGPT and tell it to lengthen it to 5 pages And there's my video essay. Anyway, back to my solution. So since YouTube isn't gonna backtrack and add the dislike button back, they need to take it even further and remove the like button as well. First of all, this is gonna create a lot of confusion in the community, and the human brain isn't physiologically capable of feeling both confused and angry at the same time. That's why when your wife comes home and finds the PSA 10 Dark Raichu Hollow in your closet that you bought with your son's college tuition, you gotta break out into singing I Want to Be Like You from the Jungle Book, or I'll Make a Man Out of You from Mulan. Probably any older Disney song will do the trick, and boom, nobody's mad. Foolproof plan. But that was just step one. Step two was going to be to create two new buttons. One of those is going to be the engaged button. The symbol for that could be like an exclamation point or a pair of eyeballs, or both even, I don't know. I'll make some mock-up and you guys can let me know what you think. This button would indicate whether or not you were actively watching the whole video, or if you just kind of had it playing in the background, which is fine. You know, a lot of videos are kind of made to be played in the background, but this would kind of work on the honor system. You need to be honest. Like, even if you hated the video, but you were watching, you need to hit the button showing that you were in fact engaged in the content. That's the only way YouTube's gonna go for this. You know, they don't really care if you loved it or hated it. They just wanna know, would you watch more of it? Now, you might be thinking, how does this solve the issue if we still can't indicate that we dislike the video? But that's where the second button will come into play. You weren't expecting another George Bush reference, were you? I'm gonna stop now though, before I take one of these jokes too far. So the second button can be hit simultaneously with the first button, with the engage button. It's not an either or situation. It will be called the mid button, and it will be symbolized by a sideways thumb or something synonymous with being mid. Maybe an Imagine Dragons logo, if they have that, or an Avengers symbol, if I'm being generous. Right now, getting a bunch of dislikes on a video is kind of seen as an accomplishment for a bunch of content farmers and rage baiters, because they know it's just getting a bunch of engagement. I think that it would bother them a little bit more if they had like a super high mid count on their videos. I think that just has a bit more sting to it. And if that's not enough, then I would be open to renaming it the cringe button. That would wake them up. That's checkmate online. That is Avada Kedavra. That is the whooshy finger hold. No one online can handle that label. So what did we learn here? We learned yet another way to make YouTube a better place. We learned that I'm probably not gonna get a content creator skin in Fortnite. That's fine. Also, a Dark Raichu Hollow isn't that expensive. Just depending on the condition. I think it's like $100-200 maybe. I didn't want to spread that misinformation. I think I want it to be, since I have one. I mean, though it's not a hollow. It's also in abysmal condition. I don't know. I was into Pokemon. I played the video games. I watched the TV show. But if a stranger were to just look at the condition of my cards, they would assume that I had some deep hatred for Pokemon, like Pikachu killed my whole family. I don't know if I just saved up all of my frustration from school and came home and took it out on the cards. I don't know if I just like the way the cardboard tastes. I'll tell you what I did do. One thing I'm sure was just sling those things around my room, because I went through like a phase where I wanted to be able to throw cards really well. That's come in handy a lot. So yeah, my first gen Shadowless Charizard's probably was stuck in a watermelon or something. I was never that good at, actually, I couldn't get in a watermelon. I could get them like in a styrofoam cup. That was it.